Hi everyone, welcome back to day 11 of the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar collaboration, which is hosted by Monika, aka Paper Mona. And we also have Denise in our group from Little G Papercrafts, and I will have both of the ladies' YouTube channels linked in the description box below. Make sure you go and check out what did they create this morning. So for day 11 we have a stencil set, and this is a lovely butterfly stencil set, one that has the butterfly's main body and then one that adds details to the wings. And this was designed by Justin from It's Just Paper. So I really wanted to use this stencil set and not use anything else with it. I really wanted to show off this. I wasn't sure whether to do this or not, and this, sure, I'll just go for it. So years ago, I got these card blanks from the range. But these are full A4 sheets of cards scored in half. So this is a huge card. I've got them like ridiculously cheap for 2 points for 25 pieces of this or something years and years ago. I've never used them at this full size. I would have used them cut down to size, but never full size. So this is a new one for me. This is going to be a large card measuring 11 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/8 of an inch. It's folded in half. So the layer I'm going to use holographic silver cardstock, which is one of my favorites to use, and this is 1/4 of an inch smaller than half of my card there. So this one measures 3 7/8 of an inch by 11.5 inches. Had to think there for a few seconds. I just glued this on using my Collage glue, and then I have a panel here which I will be working on. I'm not gluing this on yet. This one measures 11 1/4 of an inch by 3 5/8. I wanted to do some ink blending here, so I decided it was best to bring in my magnetic mat in here. And I have squeezed lemonade, quitched flamingo, and shaded lilac to use as colors. So I'm starting in the middle with the pink one, and I'm just adding the color to trying to be careful not to run out on top of that stencil onto my cardstock, but it will happen a little later in this video, you'll see. But it turns out to be a happy mistake because it will make me do something that I hadn't intended to do, and I'm happy that I done it. So you'll see this if you stay tuned to this video to the end of this one. So in here I'm just adding quite a heavy layer. I want it to be nice and a strong color against my cardstock. And while I'm having the pink ink on the stencil, I'm going to add another one. This is just on a scrap piece of card. I am not being too careful in here because I will be cutting this one out in a minute. Once my stencil was cleaned, I came back onto the left hand side of the pink butterfly and I used the yellow color. And again, I just have a piece of cardstock there just to try to protect the top of my cardstock in there. And I'm just doing exactly the same thing. And the same again with the shaded lilac, and I went ahead and I done one of each color separately as well on a scrap piece of paper, which I will be cutting out. Now in here I'm making a mistake. I didn't have that cardstock on the top too close, so I ended up with a little smudge on top of my card in there. But I will come back and cover it up later. So in here, I'm just fussy cutting those extra butterflies that I stenciled, and it is very easy just to go around the wings and the body of the butterfly. I am not worried about the antennas. I'm not cutting those around. I'm cutting those off because they will show from the ones that I had stenciled onto my card base itself or the card front itself. You will see in a moment. So just go ahead and off camera cut these all out just like this. And then I brought back the stencil, the part that adds detail to the wings, and I brought in picked raspberry for my pink one and I stenciled over. So I was left with that gorgeous design. I'm going to do this to all. So for the shaded lilac, and I just want to show you if there's white edges, you can just come back and easily ink blend over the edges with the shaded lilac again. No one will ever know. It's just because it's white cardstock. Obviously, once I fussy cut, it was left with some white edges. I'm coming back with the detailed stencil again, and this time I'm using wilted violet to add the color to the wings. And I think this is just bringing these butterflies to a whole new level. I really love how these are turning out already, and I haven't even added much to them yet at all. Now I'm going to clean off my stencil and I'm gonna do the yellow. And then here I start off with the mustard seed first, but then I wasn't happy with I don't think the contrast was just as good as I wanted it to be. So I changed it to fossilized amber, and this one was much better of a result that I was looking for. So it's the fossilized amber on top of the squeezed lemonade that I used for that one. To be honest, the most time consuming on this card, I think it was just to keep cleaning the stencil between colors, so not to contaminate the colors too much. Because of that smudge that I had on the top of my card in there, I decided to add a very light ink blending. I'm not even reapplying any ink back onto my brushes. I'm just using what's on them already, and I'm just very lightly ink blending with the same colors, so the lilac, the kitsch flamingo, and squeezed lemonade. And I'm so happy that I done this. If I hadn't made that mistake, if there wasn't a smudge, I wouldn't have done that. And I'm so happy that I did. Sometimes I do have happy mistakes. Cleaning off my mat again, because I don't want to transfer the ink onto my card base now. So I am going to add some double-sided tape to the back of this, then adhere it to my card front. And then I'm going to bring in my butterflies, the spare ones that I'd cut out and stenciled over the wings. And I am going to bend the wings upwards a bit, then with my boom folder just adding a slight curve. I'm going to add some foam pads behind the upper wings. You can do that on the lower ones as well. I didn't think I needed to. Just behind the upper wings, and then some liquid glue behind the body. So when I am going to glue my butterflies on top of the one that is on my card base, the body will be lying flat against my card base, and the wings will be lifted up a bit, and I think it's such a cool effect. It leaves like a little shadow underneath it, but it's not just shadow because the color is peeking out from underneath as well. I think this is such a lovely technique to do. So while I'm doing this, have you been following along with our collaboration? Have you seen Monika's and Denise's mix every morning? They are posting some fabulous mix. And as I always say, it is so interesting to see how we opening the same boxes, but we are having completely different ideas of what to make with the goodies. And it is so lovely to see that other people have started to share their mix as well. The Craft Stash chat Facebook group, or on the Papercraft Society Facebook group, and it is really amazing to see all the lovely makes that you all come up with. If you would like to join in with our collaboration and you're sharing your makes on your social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, just use the hashtag that you can see on my screen now. And that way we will be able to search that hashtag and see the makes that you made inspired by our makes. It would be amazing to see more of those pop up as well. So in here I just decided to add little details, and with my dry clear glue I'm just going over all the details, just outlining them. So I'm not coloring them in with my glue, I'm just outlining all those details, and I will do that on all three butterflies, and I will add some crystalline glitter onto it. So this will leave me with some gorgeous sparkle. You'll see at the end of this video, once that glue dries, that white just disappears, and it will leave me with some lovely, lovely sparkle in there. So please stay tuned to the end of this video. It is really worth seeing. So I'll do that to all my butterflies off camera. This is no point just repeating the same thing and making my video much longer over this. And then I decided not to add the sentiment to this card yet. There was a lovely butterfly theme sentiment set on the stamp set that Justin had in one of the earlier boxes. I decided not to add one because I might have an idea what I want to use this card for, but I'm just not exactly sure yet. What I did decide to do though is to add some rhinestones. And first I was placing them around the butterflies, but then I scrapped that idea and instead I added them on to my butterflies. And all the three colors that I used in rhinestones are coming from the same bling box from Chloe's Creative Cards: lilac, pink, and then some yellow or gold in there. So I added a large one, a medium one, and a small one on every one of these butterflies. And I think it turned out so lovely. Very different card to what I've ever done before. But this would make a lovely display box for butterflies as well, if you know someone that likes butterflies. I think that would be just gorgeous idea as well. So you can see all that sparkle now, because all the ink underneath was wet, especially where that detailing is on the wings. That is sparkly too. That will all go away once the ink dries back. I will be able to brush all that glitter off, and I will be just left with that gorgeous outline sparkle, as you will be able to see now. And if you like this tutorial, please do not forget to let me know. Give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. Make sure you go over to Monika's and Denise's channels as well and check out what they made today. Give them a like and a follow as well. And I will be back very soon with my next tutorial. I hope to see you then. Bye!